Something happened just moments ago that could rewrite the future of British politics. In one late-night post, one man, Elon Musk, has thrown Downing Street, Brussels, and Buckingham Palace into the same storm. And if what he's claiming is true, then the question isn't just, did they lie? It's this: was Britain quietly being taken back into the EU without the people ever being asked? Stay with me. It all began with 12 words. No long thread, no press conference, just a single sentence on X at 4:03 a.m. UK time. Elites lie. I have the proof. Starmer's shadow deal is treasonous. 12 words that hit the political system like a bomb. Within minutes, the tweet was everywhere. Morning shows ripped up their scripts. BBC and Sky dumped their planned segments and rolled straight into breaking news mode. By the time most people had even turned off their alarms, Musk's post had already been seen by millions, because this wasn't a random anonymous leak. This was the world's richest man, the owner of the platform itself, the same man who has a history of exposing governments, regulators, and tech giants. And this time, his target was Prime Minister Keir Starmer. A few hours later, Musk went further. He didn't just tease, he didn't just hint. He published a 123-page document dump. Suddenly appeared: screenshots, redacted memos, internal emails, and encrypted message logs. On the front page, a single title: Flex EU Post-Brexit Alignment Framework. According to Musk, Flex EU was never meant to see the light of day. It was, he claimed, a covert program designed to lock the UK back into the orbit of Brussels through regulations, digital rules, and trade commitments without ever calling it rejoining and without ever asking voters again. No referendum, no manifesto headline, no debate. Just a slow, quiet slide back into the European system under the cover of environmental cooperation and data alignment. And at the center of it all, Musk said, was one man, Keir Starmer, the same man who promised integrity, stability, and respect for the Brexit vote. The files went deeper: internal briefing notes with official headers, travel logs of senior aides quietly flying to Luxembourg and Brussels, trips never announced to the press, meeting notes referencing Protocol Sigma, a phrase no voter has ever seen on a ballot paper. One line from a leaked memo stood out: operational discretion must be maintained until after 2025. Public narrative, climate and digital cooperation only, in plain English. Keep it quiet. Hide it under technical language. Don't let the public join the dots until it's too late to reverse. Was it real? Was it fake? The public didn't know. But the reaction told its own story. Inside Westminster, panic spread faster than any official statement. A Labour spokesperson finally appeared, their line carefully rehearsed. These documents are selectively edited and likely falsified. But when journalists asked the most basic question, are these genuine government documents, yes or no? There was no clear answer, and, worst of all, for 6 long hours, the Prime Minister was nowhere to be seen. In a crisis built on secrecy, silence spoke louder than any speech. Outside, people filled in the gaps themselves. Leavers saw proof of their worst fears. Remainers, even those who still loved the EU, were asking, if this is such a good idea, why hide it? Commentators across the spectrum were forced to admit, if even half of this was true, it would be one of the biggest democratic scandals in modern British history. Then, as the political class scrambled, Buckingham Palace moved. A formal statement on royal letterhead with clear language. His Majesty is deeply concerned by recent revelations and is seeking urgent clarification from the Prime Minister regarding matters of constitutional significance. In Britain, those 2 words, constitutional significance, carry enormous weight. The message was obvious. This is no longer just a party row. This is a constitutional crisis. And Elon Musk wasn't finished. That evening, he posted again: if governments won't reveal the truth, I will. Tomorrow, I release the names. At dawn, Musk pressed send. A 37-page list of names exploded across the internet. Senior civil servants, past negotiators, current ministers, and one name that shook Downing Street to its core: Jonathan Gates, Starmer's powerful chief of staff. In one alleged message, Gates is quoted as saying, "We move piece by piece. If we call it a treaty, it dies. So we don't." And for millions, utterly unforgivable. Within hours, Gates resigned. By that afternoon, protesters were outside Parliament. In the middle of the storm, the palace did something else extraordinary. The king announced a rare live address. At 7:30 p.m., the country watched as King Charles spoke directly to the nation. Calm, steady, but unmistakably firm. Power in this country is derived from the people and never from secrecy. What has been revealed must be investigated transparently and without delay. And finally, late that night, Keir Starmer appeared. He admitted to mistakes and transparency. He admitted that undisclosed talks had taken place. And then he said the words that confirmed his career was almost over: to protect the stability of the nation. I will not contest the next election. This scandal didn't begin with tanks or riots. It began with information, with files, with one billionaire pressing post. So now, the questions are bigger than one man or one party. Can a democracy survive if decisions this big are made in the shadows? Can trust ever be restored once people believe their vote was quietly overturned? And in a world where one tweet can shake a government, who really holds the power now? You decide. Thanks for watching.